Hello, hello, hello!
What's going on, everybody? I am Mr. Saturn, and I have a cool guest today, Nathan Rivera. Say hi, everybody. Say
What's
hi,
going on,
Nathan.
everybody? What's going on, everybody? This is Nathan the Reaper Rivera.
Hey, so thank you so much, bro, for joining me today, man. It's been pretty exciting watching your fights, dude. You have a pretty unique style, man. And then you're like you're 5'11", I believe. I'm
Yeah,
5'11", so for the most part we're just slightly above average from no average height. But I noticed that we tend to have just a slightly bigger stature compared to other people. And when I see you fight, bro, and your distance there, I'm like, damn, this guy, he's gonna go the distance. Kind of like the John Jones of the featherweight, bro. You know, because John Jones has this enormous aura.
dude. I mean, especially in this game, right? Where takedowns are not a threat and anything like that. The reach of your arms, like your arm length, is huge.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I mean, the kind of objective for most of my fights is to keep people on the end of my 1-2. It's my longest weapon and my strongest weapon. I have I think a 74.5 inch reach at 5'11". And what's crazy is that I don't even have the longest reach in the division. I think there's two guys that have longer reach than me. So I mean, you could imagine how much of a attribute that could be.
You know how to use it. You know how to use it. I forgot what fight it was, but this guy came in and you just step back with enough distance to just swing. I'll add it to the video later on. But yeah, dude, you're somebody for people to watch. So I hope everybody out there keeps an eye on Nate here. Um, my interview's a little different, bro. I don't talk too much into the fight. A lot of fighters that I actually got became huge fan of happened because I got to know their story. I got to understand who, what the dislikes, likes, stuff like that. So I'm gonna poke around a little bit if that's okay with you.
That's perfect, man. I mean, I think that's what's probably going to set you apart of interviewing fighters, just because, like, I remember I did, I think, like 14 or 15 interviews on my last fight, and it was like the same exact questions. So I'm just on rotation. You just kind of say the same thing,
Yeah,
but that's what everyone else sees. So it's like, Nathan the fighter,
yeah,
like, who is that as a person? That's a really cool aspect to ask people questions.
yes, yes, yes. So I appreciate it. So you're Filipino. See, uh, that's why I got this picture in the back with the
Yeah,
big
hell
ass
yeah.
Filipino flag. Were you born in the States or in the Philippines?
No, I was born in the States. So I was born in Orange County, California. My dad was from Manila. He came over when he was 10 years old. And I lived in California until I was 7. And then I moved to Georgia and have been here ever since.
I noticed you had a tattoo that said OC and some coordinates. Is that coordinates to your birthplace in Orange County?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. I was born over there. And my sister is 2 years older than me. So we lived there for a little while. I was born in Garden Grove and then or where was it, Garden Grove? No, it was in Orange. And then we moved to Garden Grove, which is, very similar areas. But yeah, I mean, it was that was the spot to be. And I still, all my family's over there. My sister lives there. In my mom's side and my dad's side, they both live in California. So actually, it's actually me and my two parents that are the ones who live in Georgia still.
Okay. Is your mom also Filipino?
No, she's not. She's Jewish. So all of,
Jewish.
like, yeah. So all the Jewish side is over there, and then
Mm.
my Filipino side is also in California.
Okay, that's cool. When I look at you, bro, I'm like, man, you look more Latino
Dude.
than.
So what's funny? My buddy came up to me
Yeah.
at the gym the other day, and he was like, "Bro, you're on Fox Fuentes," and I was, or no, no, Fox Deportes or something, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Fox.
What is that?" And he's like, "It's Fox Sports," and I
Oh
was like,
my
"Really?"
God! No
And he
way.
was like, he was like, "Bro, I think they think you're Mexican," and I was like, "Bro, like, a story of my life, bro." There's pretty much everybody I talk to around here, in Georgia, in the South, man, if you're not white or black, you're Mexican.
Yeah,
If you're
you're
brown,
Mexican.
you're Mexican. And so everyone talks to me in Spanish, and I still like don't know a lick of Spanish, so I probably should learn a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you should, bro. You could probably fool a lot of people. They're like, oh yeah, he's Mexican. That guy's
Yeah,
Mexican. No, no, I'm not.
yeah,
So your dad's from Manila, and your mom born here in the States, or is she from?
yeah, yeah. She was born in Maryland.
Okay, okay. So that's a pretty cool little blend. That's very interesting. How did your parents meet? Do
Yes,
you know the story?
yeah. They met first actually in Southern California.
Right.
In like a little bit later in life, I think, because my mom, I think she was 32 when she had me, or maybe 32 when she had. You know what? I think she was 32 when she had me. So like they met a little bit older, had kids a little bit later. But yeah, that's how they met. Was at church.
At church. Okay, okay. How's it? How is it growing up in a two? Because I mean, as a Filipino, not that I'm Filipino, but I know Filipinos are Catholics, and you know there's this
Yeah,
whole. I know there's a religious divide. What church did they meet in? What was it?
yeah. So it was like a non-denominational church. So my mom, she
Perfect.
didn't grow up like very, very like Orthodox Jewish. Like some of but like her parents weren't very religious. Some of my cousins are very religious, but my dad, he grew up, I guess, like not too religious either. Like not really Catholic though, but like more non-denominational Christian. So that's what the kind of church they grew up and met in. It was in Calvary Chapel, actually. Calvary Chapel, Costa Mesa is where they met.
Okay, it's funny because Orange and Garden Grove is just. I'm in Long Beach, so that's like the next, you know, right now, like the next neighborhood
Yeah,
over, next town over. So that's very interesting. What's it like living in Georgia? What's it? I mean, what's the like?
I mean, I really like it. I mean, so it's funny because and again, like whoever's listening to this doesn't know this, but like, you and I had to push back this interview because we were just trying to close on a house here in Georgia. And, it's really nice. I mean, I like how, like, kind of steady everything is. I don't live in Atlanta. I'm probably an hour out of Atlanta, but everything's very, like, kind of slow paced, like slow moving. It's like a lot of cool stuff to do, but it's not like, very, very busy. There's not a ton of traffic where we're at. Like in California, if you want to go like 5 miles, it'll take you 30 minutes. That's not really the case over here. Um, and I really like how there's like a ton of like trees and it's like I like going fishing in the lakes and stuff like that. So like I really enjoy it. I like the hot climate. I don't really love how cold it gets here, but other than that, I mean it's a good spot. I mean the main thing why I'm not moving anywhere anytime soon is because my family is here, and then my gym is based out of Georgia, so I'm not really going anywhere unless that gym goes somewhere.
Where do you train?
American Top Team Lima. So Douglas and Diego Lima started their own American Top Team, and they're training people out of Duluth, Georgia.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. Um, how's your Tagalog?
Terrible. I don't have any. I mean, I know, I know how to say idiot and I love you. That's the only two things.
Yeah, yeah. I asked my wife all the bad words first, especially because
Yeah,
we used to go eat uh, specifically at a Denny's at a well, not specifically there, but at a Filipino based Denny's neighborhood. And we would
nice.
sit there for a few hours, and she would translate because after church on Sundays, a lot of the older women, you know, would go together in their group and stuff, and they just start gossiping. So we'd make it like a little fun date and eavesdrop on the conversations. She would translate for me everything it would say. So I picked up quite a few not so good words. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you
no,
know what? If you got to learn a few words, you might as well learn the ones that mean something.
yeah, I mean the bad words are usually the easiest ones, man.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
Hey man, so one of your fights, when you at the end of your fight, you had a very interesting ending. You had a newspaper and a stool.
Yeah.
What talk to me about that newspaper, and do you have any more in print? Because I would like to own one and maybe frame it or something crazy.
Dude, so I got one copy and I gave it to Dave Feldman.
Okay.
But man, the idea behind it is like everybody can knock people out, everybody can look good doing it, but there's there has to be something that makes you stand apart from other people. And I'm not the kind of guy that's going to get in your face and talk smack and push you and smack you and all that stuff. I think it's like it's one, it's kind of played out and kind of corny, and two, it's just it's not that kind of image I want to put out there, as what a professional athlete is. So, there's the newspaper said like breaking news: Nathan Rivera beats
Yeah.
Justin Street. And there's just like I had a hit list on there of other people that I would like to fight. Um, and I just gave it to Feldman, and I think he said he put it up somewhere, but he said he had to wipe a lot of blood off of it because it was pretty covered. So
Oh my god, dude! Remember I tagged you in that picture where there was blood on the camera from that one.
yeah,
I was so bad with freaking keeping the with the technical part, but yeah, dude, that was fun. I was like, look, there's still blood on the camera, so good job, my man. Good
yeah,
job.
yeah, absolutely, man.
Um, that'd be cool if you had more. You could probably, because you're gonna go far, man, and it'd be cool to kind of, hold off so you can give some more out. So good for you, man.
Yeah, I
Congratulations.
mean, yeah, thank you, man. And I appreciate you saying that, dude. It's like it feels still sometimes it doesn't feel real, and like the position that I'm in. Like I've been very blessed and fortunate, and God's had His favor on my life in a big way because this is my fourth professional fight ever. You know what I mean? This is a lot of these people have spent a whole career in a combat sport to get here, and I'm here at four fights total. Three in the company. So where I'm at is just it's incredible, man.
Yeah, bro, I believe it. It's gotta be tough because BKFC is no joke, man. I mean, the bare knuckle is, I've been watching a lot of MMA stuff, and man, so it takes a lot of guts. I think more guts than anything to just get there. And I noticed a lot of times when, especially people who have the debut, as soon as they feel the first punch, they know right then and there that they don't want it. I mean, I'm saying they do or they don't, but most, well, not most, but it sucks because when I see people, they feel that punch and like, man, nope, and they just kneel and they don't
Yeah,
want to get up, you know.
yeah, and you know what? I haven't been in that position yet. Great, like I'm very thankful. Um, I got hit one time in my last fight, and then in my second fight, I've never been hit, and in my first fight, I got hit one time as well. Um, so I think I've eaten two or three shots, and none of them were flush or clean. So it's a blessing, man. Um, my coach always says we want to leave the same way we came in.
That's right.
No cuts, no bruises. And part of me is always like, man, I want that dog fight, bro. I want to get in there. I want to like take some, give some, go back
Yeah.
and forth. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a terrible idea, bro. Let's not
I
do
mean,
that. Like,
yeah, he's kind of right.
yeah, yeah. He's like,
but
yeah, dad don't like that at all.
but it's good though because I mean, at least you personally know that if it has to get to that to put down your opponent, you're willing to go that far.
Right, right. And
You know.
it's one of those things that my last fight, I never had to, I never, up to my last fight, I had never had to show my cardio, and cardio is one of my biggest
Mhm.
strengths, I believe. And I'd always finish people in the first round, and that even goes back to amateur MMA, amateur boxing, and all that stuff. I've never left the first round in a fight that I've won. Um, I think I had one finish in the third round in an amateur boxing fight, but other than that, it's been all first round knockouts. And I was kind of like wanting to show that part of my game because it's something I put a lot of effort into and a lot of work into. So to be able to go 5 rounds with Justin Street, it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, you got to test yourself. Test
Yeah.
yourself. That's good. Let's take it back a little bit. Were you a fighter? Were you a bully? What were you like when you were a kid? Did your youth contribute to you fighting now as an adult?
Yeah. I mean, so growing up, I always loved combat sports. Like I mean, me and my dad would watch like Bruce Lee movies, Jackie Chan movies, like Ip Man, like all kinds of stuff that a little kid would love watching, like kung fu movies and stuff. I watched them. I watched Manny Pacquiao box on the TV with my dad a lot. Um,
Of course.
yeah, and like I mean, so there was a grocery store in Garden Grove, Vaughn's, which I'm sure you're familiar with Vaughn's, right? So we don't have that out here, but folks in Cali know about the Vaughn's. So
That's
um,
right.
we were at Vaughn's when I was a kid. My mom would always grocery shop at this one spot, and this is before I remember. These are stories that they would tell me, and they said that I would just like be obsessed with the taekwondo studio that was next door. So me and my dad would go watch the taekwondo studio while my mom shopped for groceries, and then we'd go home. And like as soon as I turned 4, like I was like wanting to go join so bad. So I like joined at 4, I think, or something, very young. Did that for a couple of years there. Came to Georgia, and I joined a taekwondo like a gym or studio over here. And then I started getting into like jujitsu. Then I started getting to like more Muay Thai, kickboxing, and then it kind of escalated from there to doing like amateur fights, to doing amateur boxing fights, to going pro in MMA, and then coming to BKFC. But like growing up outside of the gym, I didn't get in a ton of like fights like when I was younger. But then when I turned like 18, 19, 20 is when I started getting into a lot of like just like some altercations. You know, when you're a young man, I feel like you don't know who you are as a person. And I think for some people, fighting is how you figure out who you are. You know, that's the only reason why people fight is because they don't know where they stand on the food chain. And you know, I was 19 years old and I didn't know where I stood on the food chain. So I went out there and I like, you know, I'd look for trouble quite a bit, but never in a way that was like in a bully or
Okay.
like half the time it was always me like with a bunch of my friends and we'd be out somewhere and we would just end up scrapping with a bunch of other people, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, don't tell me you were
so
like a party crew or something, huh?
I definitely went out. I definitely went out. And you know, it's something that I think about and I go, oh my gosh, like wasted time,
Yeah.
wasted time that I spent out a couple of years just like you know doing things I shouldn't be doing, hanging around with people that I shouldn't be hanging around with. I wonder where my career would be. But you know that's not my timing. That's God's timing, and where I'm at right now is exactly where I needed to be, where I should be, you know, because I lived a life that I feel like I can relate to a lot of people, and I think that's another reason why maybe God had me go through some of that stuff.
Yeah, you gotta you say pressure makes diamonds, bro, and life has is full of freaking pressures, and if you're not going through stuff, you're not evolving, you're wasting time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um, so you're getting married in September, I think I heard.
That's it. Yeah, September 20th is when we are getting married, man. This year is it's big for me and Bree. It's married in September and probably gonna get a home before April this year.
All
So it's
right.
like a lot of big life changes are happening.
Okay, that's interesting. Tell us how you met Bree.
Yeah, so she it's a funny story too. It's just she lived in Tennessee, which is not far from where I'm at in Georgia. It's probably about an hour. I mean, the border is probably like an hour and a half away, right? So she
Oh,
lived
it's not
right over
far.
the border. No, not at all. In Chattanooga, and it's just like how we met was funny. Like we met on Hinge, and I went up there to take her on a date, and then we ended up staying out till like 3, 4 in the morning, just walking around downtown Chattanooga, talking all night long.
Nice.
And it was incredible, and it was one of those things where like you know how people always say like oh when you know. It was one of those things, and it was just so interesting. I never had experienced something like that before so quick. So that was probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago now. And and then now, you know, 2 years later, we're getting married right in Chickamauga, Georgia, which is just it's in Georgia, but it's like 10 minutes from the border of Tennessee. So all of my Filipino family, Jewish family, they're gonna meet like all of Bree's family, or like you
Uh,
know the ones they haven't met yet, and it's gonna be like in the mountains, kind of, so they can kind of experience what Bree's introduction to Bree's side of the family too. So it's pretty cool, man.
and I know how Filipino families get down, bro, and
Dude.
weddings and all this stuff. So, woof.
Yeah,
That,
yeah, and we're doing a really small wedding.
okay.
We're gonna probably it's gonna be like you know, if I had to say max like 80 people, you know, like very like my family, her family, and then a couple of my close friends and stuff.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then we're actually gonna go to like honeymoon somewhere like in Hawaii somewhere we think. And then on the way back, we're gonna have like a Filipino celebration in Southern California so that all of the you know all the fam can come through. So if you're around, then you need to come through, bro.
I'm gonna be there for us, right down the street.
Yeah, you need to come through, bro, and get a plate for sure.
Yes, yes, dude. All right, all right. So, do you guys have any pets?
No, man, we don't actually. And what's interesting is we've never had any pets. Like I was thinking about that the other day. I said, "Wow, we don't even have any pets." Like we've been living together, like, um, for like about a year, and like no fish or no nothing, bro. Like we need. I was thinking to myself the other day, we should get a fish, like some kind of little,
Something easy.
like something. Yeah, something easy. We're definitely like, dude. I mean, I work 40 hours a week. Go to work all day. I finish my day at 4 o'clock, and I go to the gym, and I'm not home till 9 o'clock most nights. So it's not a ton of time on my end, and Bree works a full time job as well. So like, not a ton of time to take care of a pet, but I mean, she, for me not being home, she handles a lot of stuff around here. So I'm very grateful that we got things where they're at and stuff like that.
So you've been so pretty much fighting has been in your life your whole life. What about schooling? Did you get getting schooling done? Prepare for later on in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I would say around that time when I was like going crazy is when like school kind of went like this, right, for me. And I just was skipping school so much, so I actually ended up dropping out of high school, and then went to an alternative school,
Okay.
and then I ended up getting kicked out of there, and then I got my GED the same year.
Rebel.
So,
Okay.
dude, it was a run of it. My poor mom, dude. But so I did that. I got my GED. Went to an orientation at at a college one time, and I left in the middle of it. It was not for me. So I was always working. Like my mom was like really strict on me in a good way. Like she held me very accountable, and she said like you're either going to go to college or you're going to get two jobs or I'm going to kick you out. So I got two jobs. I was working two jobs, and tried college, wasn't for me, and then I went to welding school, and I learned. So I was like, I need to get like this was when I was already an amateur fighter. Like I kind of saw where the path I wanted to take my life, and I said I need to have something that I can rely on if something happens with my fighting career, if I can't fight anymore. I need to have something where I can go take a drug test on a Monday, pass, and start on a Tuesday. And welding is one of those things. It's one of those trades where you spend the money, you learn how to weld. In all reality, I don't really think you even need to go to welding school to learn how to weld. The most I've learned about welding was my first job. But to get in the door, it definitely helps. Um, but I spent the money, went to school, learned how to weld, and then I was at welding. I had a welding job for 6 months, and this was the only job in my life I've ever drug up at. And I'm painting a really terrible picture for myself, but
No.
like throughout after high school and after I got my GED, I worked for quite a while. Like I worked in commercial AR in an office. Then I worked in commercial AR at a dentist office as well. Like worked from home remote during COVID times. Like a really standard 40-hour job, and then
Yeah.
went to welding school from there. Um, Learned how to weld, and I remember sitting. I can remember it like yesterday. I was sitting there and I'm looking at the people that I work with. They wake up, they clock in, they work, they clock out, they go home. They wake up, they clock in, they clock
Mm.
out, they go home. And I just started like kind of getting stressed out, and I was like, I don't think that this is my life. I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to be in this endless rat race cycle. And I just said, I just in my head, in my heart, I've always known that I think I think God has something different for me. And that's the only time I left my key in the drawer and I just bounced, never went back. And in the back of my head, like, like the schooling that you said, setting yourself up for later, like I'm very grateful I have that, because at any point, if anything happens anywhere, I can go pick up a job anywhere. And
Yeah.
that's what's beautiful about having that education. It's like a college degree, but a little bit different right now for me. Um, I'm in welding sales right now, so what I do is all outside sales. I sell welding equipment, um,
Okay.
and so like that's another thing. Like any kind of job that I thought I was going to get from welding, I didn't think I would be in this. So welding school to welding
Yeah.
to being in welding sales now, it really helped me out to go through school to have that job. And in between that welding job and the job that I currently have, like I was a bar tender, a bar back. I was selling roofs. Like I was just really trying to make it work because fighting was always the center of like my focus, and work kind of worked around it.
Bro, don't even feel like you're painting a bad picture of yourself. Everybody, and I don't say this in a negative way. Like everybody has their journey, bro. I mean, I interviewed Ruben War, and he was kind of a roughneck and talking about getting shot at and stuff. Like
Yeah,
people go through shit, and it just, I mean, you're like a walking example. It just builds you into where you're supposed to be. Again, that thing you say, pressure, bro, pressure. You know.
absolutely, absolutely, man.
Um. So let's I want to change the pace a little bit. What what do you like to do after your fights? What is it? Is there like a maybe a restaurant, or do you indulge in something that you cut out? What do you do after your fights?
Yeah, bro. I eat, dog. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, like I don't do any of that stuff. But after fights, man, the like everyone always asks me like, "Where's the party? What's the move? Where are we going? Where are we going, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let's go to the club. Let's go here. Like, I got a section over here." And I there's like two things that I really like to do is with my team. I like to go. This is like very oddly specific, but I like to go to McDonald's. I
Okay.
like to eat McDonald's, and I like to go home, and that's it. Because and I don't know why, bro. There's one time I eat McDonald's, and like it's not even like anywhere near my diet throughout camp. But some reason when I'm in camp, all I'm craving is McDonald's, and I
Okay.
don't know why because I never eat it. So I'm like, this is so weird. So, but that's what I like to do. I like to go to like either like last time I went to Waffle House
Mhm.
because it was too late to go to McDonald's. But like I like always crave McDonald's in my camp, and then I eat it and I go like, that was pretty good. I
That's good.
don't want to eat this ever again. Like
Yeah,
I like this is not that good, but it's good. But like
that's good.
whatever. So I like to go to McDonald's and then I go home. Like if I'm fighting out of town, I go to my hotel, and then I spend the next 3 or 4 hours uh, reaching back out to every. I mean, because dude, my phone is blown up, dude. I the
Hell
support
yeah.
I have, dude.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man, and it,
Yeah.
it, it almost could like. I mean, it's wild, man. The amount of people that support me. So I spend time thanking them for watching, thanking them for supporting me, and like go through every single message that I get and thank everybody because it's very important, man. Like I wouldn't have the platform, I wouldn't be where I'm at without these people supporting me and to that they would even tune in or spend $1 to come watch me fight. It blows my mind.
Mhm.
So I do that and usually don't get any sleep because I'm rewatching my fight in between, replying to people and I break it down. I write notes on myself, victory or
Hey,
defeat.
wow.
Write notes, and then with those notes, the next Wednesday after my fight, me and my coach meet. We watch the film. We talk about what we could have done better, what we did good, and we kind of keep it pushing that way.
Do you feel when it's hard for me to edit my videos because I have to hear myself and I get like when you replay
Yeah.
your fights and stuff, do you get that feeling too, or am I tripping?
Uh, I mean, sometimes I'll do some stuff where I'm like, that was dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I shouldn't have done that. But at the
yeah,
same time, in my head, so my last fight, like I was extremely disappointed in myself driving to go get some food with like my family. Like I was just mad because I felt like I could have got the finish. I felt like I didn't put on the best performance. I knew I did a lot of good things, but I was just frustrated because I remember missing a couple big shots, like overextending, putting myself in a bad position. And I was very frustrated with myself. And then I watched the film and then I realized I was making it a little bit too much in my head. Like it was not actually as bad as I thought. But there's sometimes where I'll see something that I did and I was like, man, like you know, he could have got
yeah,
me right there.
yep,
If I wasn't on my P, like I wasn't on my P's and Q's for that 20 like not even 20 seconds, bro, like 2 seconds. Like I wasn't on my P's and Q's for 2 seconds and like 2 physical seconds. And it could have been the end of the game if he would have thrown this or that or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Sometimes you gotta
So
have like that. What is that? The Dragon Ball Z, that instinct and stuff. We're like,
yeah, yeah, literally, it feels like that. And man, when you're
yeah.
fighting with bare knuckles, man,
Mm,
you're man, you get a different sense, like you get a different heightened sense. I mean, it's very interesting, man. It's nothing like
very
I've ever
interesting.
experienced.
Yeah. Um, do you have any cool little like rituals before you fight, or do you like do you get nervous and then is there a way that you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, I every single fight, the nerves they come later and later and later, if that makes sense. So my first fight ever, I was nervous when I woke up that morning, right? And that was my first fight on the amateur level. And then now my last fight, I was not nervous at all the entire day, other than my shakeout in the morning for a little bit, and then right when I knew I was going to go up, like your mouth starts getting dry.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And what I do to just combat that is like I do it with any other nerves or anxious. Like I listen to worship music, I pray, I read the Bible, and I pray with my team, and I speak out loud a lot of things. And people probably think I'm crazy, but I'm yelling things, not yelling in like a like crazy aggressive way, but I'm saying things out loud. And the closer I get to fighting, it tends to get a little bit louder and a little bit louder, and I'm just speaking truth over my life. Sometimes anxiety and fear can try to creep in, so speak against those things, and just speak truth over my life, and that really helps me get ready for war.
How long have you been in your how long have you been a non-denominational Christian? I mean, I only say it that way
uh,
because it's
yeah.
non-denominational.
Yeah, like I'm not a Catholic or I'm not a
Exactly.
Protestant or whatever. Yeah. So
Exactly.
man, I just, I don't even, I guess it would be considered non-denominational. I don't even know what all the different really mean. I just know like Jesus changed my life, man. And uh, yeah, I'd say probably like 2 years ago is when I really started like reconnecting with God, and yeah, it just changed my life, dude. Like the relationship with Him, and what I thought was right and wrong, what really is right and wrong, and where I thought I was going versus where I am going in my life and my trajectory. Um, it's been wild.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude. Yeah, it's all right. You jump in and out, but it lines up pretty good. Um. So when did you get? I'm assuming you guys get baptized, right?
oh. I think I've been losing you. You there, man? It cut off on me for a
I'm
little
here.
bit.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, what's the? Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. What's the last thing you heard from me?
That you 2 years ago you
Oh,
connected with God. Can you hear me? You still there?
okay. I think I can see you now. Are we better?
Yep, we're good. We're solid.
Okay.
Hey,
Sorry.
see,
All right. What was the last
that's the
thing?
enemy, bro. That's the enemy. See,
Nah,
that's the
I
enemy
mean,
messing
hey, man.
with.
Hey,
Oh god.
but
No,
yeah,
so
what
I
was the
was at.
last thing you heard me say?
So I heard last thing I heard you say was 2 years. Where 2 years ago is where you started really uh being more how do I say yeah. Some 2 years is when you really started
Yeah,
I guess giving yourself to God.
yeah. And that's when I guess I could say I started to like kind of have my eyes opened up. Like I grew up a Christian, and then I just it was always in the back of my head, but I was doing not things the right way. I don't think I was living with God in the center at all, of my life in any way, shape, or form. Very far from it. So 2 years ago is when I started really like asking questions and opening up my heart to God, and having like His way versus my way. It's still a battle that I fight all the time. Is like trying to submit my will to God, and just whatever His path is, like trusting that path. And a prayer that I pray all the time is like that, His will is done, and not only that His will is done, but He gives me like peace about what that will is, because it might not make sense to me, but Him giving me confidence and peace that His will is the best will for my life.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate you opening up. Not a lot of people like to talk about politics, but not a lot of people want to talk about their faith. So I
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate it, man.
absolutely.
So you don't drink, you don't smoke. Do you drink coffee? Is there any little guilty pleasure that you like
Yeah.
to
Oh,
do,
bro,
or what's going on?
dog. Let me tell you, bro.
What's up?
Like when I go into camp, like when my nutritionist texts me and says like, or when I text her and I'm like, it's time to get back on, bro. I immediately like I'm like, bro, no crumble cookie, no
Oh,
freaking Chick-fil-A, bro. Like I want to like I'm trying to go to Chili's and bust down the triple dipper like once a day, dog. Like if I had it my way, bro, like pizzas, like cookies, chocolates, whatever, bro. All of that, dude. That's major for me. So like putting
okay.
that stuff away, dude, major. But yeah, I do like I drink coffee in the morning, but when I'm
Yeah.
as soon as I know that I'm fighting, it's like it's just a switch, and then all that stuff goes away, and it's just like the same couple meals every breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's it.
You have a nutritionist, right? I think I heard you say in an interview.
I do. Yeah, her name is Heather Trump. She works for well, she actually I was connected with her here in Georgia, and she was my nutritionist when I was an amateur, and she actually got a job working for the UFC. So she lives in Vegas now, and is one of the UFC the nutritionist. So she writes the meal plans for a lot of the fighters and stuff like that.
What's your name again?
Heather Trump,
Shout out.
shout out. Yeah.
Woo! What about do you have any okay, so you usually you think about prior to fights. What's your favorite song right now at the moment? What's your top 3 Spotify songs?
Oh man, dude, I don't know, man, because my music taste is has changed quite a bit, man. Like I love like '90s rap. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I was big into
Sure.
like big into like Wu Tang Clan, Gangstar, like all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like as much, I don't listen to it as much anymore. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I really like a lot of like instrumental music, like a lot of guitar and piano and stuff like that. Like I don't know why it just like really calms me. Like I listen to a lot of worship music, especially pre-fight, like you said, pre-fight. That keeps me locked in. And I know the tendency, like you start listening to certain things, you start saying certain things, and then next thing you start doing certain things. So I
Oh
keep
yeah.
myself on a tight leash because I think a lot of that stuff has a lot more power than we give it. Um, and like some of the stuff I started thinking about it, and that's I would pray to God all the time, like open my eyes to things of you know what I'm saying? And I would think about it, man, I'm listening to this song talking about like killing people. Like, and I don't want to kill anybody. Like I'm not a murderer. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll never be that. So why am I listening to these different songs? And started like finding the spiritual connection to like a lot of music. And I was just like, man, I probably shouldn't shouldn't be listening about this stuff. So changed
Yeah.
up a lot of the music I listen to, man. But dude, especially like when I'm like working out and running, like I really like listening to like classical music, which sounds crazy, but like
Dope.
piano, guitar, like acoustic covers to songs and stuff like that. Like I really enjoy those.
Um one word to describe your fighting style, bro.
Mm. I mean honestly, man, I'd probably say elusive is
Okay.
uh is a good word. I could think of a couple, but I think elusive is the best word that I could think of right now because I don't really like getting hit
I agree.
particularly, and
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't
You're smooth.
I don't get hit much.
Yeah, you're pretty freaking smooth, dude. Telling you, keep everybody
And
gotta
in a
keep an
game
eye on you.
dude, a game of literal blades coming at you, man. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing is that like there's certain styles in boxing that I never clicked with that now I'm very grateful with. Like that Mexican style of boxing where you take it on the guard. Um,
Hmm.
it would do me a big disservice here in bare knuckle.
Yep.
So I'm glad that that wasn't my style ever.
Yeah, yeah, and then a lot of them who try to take a lot of beating just to utilize it. A lot of fighters who've tried to use the Mexican style boxing and BKC. It's tough.
Yeah, dude,
It's tough.
it really does slip through the guard very quick, man. So I feel you.
Uh, what about what's your dream vacation? So you said you're going to Hawaii for your anniversary for your honeymoon. Uh, is there any other place you would like to go that dream vacation?
Dude, I mean, I want to go to the Philippines. I've never been to the Philippines. I want to go. Uh, I mean, and my family will send me pictures, and it's like, dude, you can't even believe it's real times. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff, it looks like it's out of like a movie. I mean, it's like clear water, bro. Like
Mm,
white sand, beautiful mountains in the back. Like, I mean, it's incredible. So I really like to go to the Philippines and experience that culture.
mhm.
And I know my fiance, she really wants to go. Like, she's been all over like Europe and stuff like that, and I'd like to travel to Europe with her. Another place would be Japan. I think that'd be awesome to go to Japan.
Are you into anime or anything like that? I know there's a lot of I don't know, like Dragon Ball Z or what is it, One Piece or stuff like that.
Dude, I've seen one anime I saw because I don't watch a ton of TV shows and stuff like that, but my friend was like, bro, you have to watch at least one anime. And I was like, all right, which one should I watch? And he was like, you should watch Death Note. So I watched Death Note, and it was dope. Like, I loved it. But I've never been like an anime fan as much. Um, Death Note was awesome. But no, I just Japanese culture is cool. I like a lot. Like, I like sushi. I like Japanese traditional tattoos. Like, just like that
Yeah.
whole the whole culture is really cool to me.
Actually, speaking of tattoos, dude, I noticed you have I think you have a sleeve, right? Or you're pretty much sleeved up. Are there any
Yeah, I
cool
got one
tattoos?
sleeve. Yeah, I mean, I got one sleeve here. Then I have a leg sleeve. That I'm finishing up. My leg sleeve is all black and gray traditional American tattoos. And my arm is like some more realism and stuff like that. But I got a lot of cool ones, man. I got like one on my back is my family crest. I think that's probably one of my favorite ones.
I noticed
Um,
that, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tattoos. It was a modernized version of my family crest that someone in my family drew, and my tattoo artist kind of modernized it a little bit and changed it up a bit. That's one of my favorite ones. Um, and then I got like projects, so like I have my whole idea is my left arm, my right leg, and then I'm gonna go half of my back split down the side or split down the middle,
Mm,
like spine over.
yeah.
And then I'll probably stop there. And my mom hates the fact that I get tattoos, so I'll probably stop there, keep her off my back a little bit.
Um, do you have any like dedication tattoos? Something that you've dedicated to somebody or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, so my back is gonna be like
Like
that. It's gonna
the
be kind
crest
of like a
part?
family style. Yeah, like going down. I got a couple tattoos. Like one for my Lola on my arm, and then I
Oh,
have one
oh, Lola.
tattoo that I got recently. Uh, Probably 2 weeks ago, I got a goose on my leg for Bree, my
Okay.
fiance, because we always.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I just got it. So it's like on my lower calf, and it's that one's for her. But other than that, man, they're kind of just
For the
cool, like fun ones that I just decided.
for the people who don't know what Lola means in Tagalog, why don't you share that with us?
Yeah, that's just grandma. That's grandmother. So
Right.
um that's for Lola on my dad's side. I'm her only grandson, so we always had a
Uh,
because she's got a bunch of granddaughters and I'm the only grandson. So she would always I think she would favorite me a little bit.
yeah, the favorite. Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to keep you too long, so I'm gonna start wrapping it up, my brother.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Have you had any crazy fun fan interactions, or I mean, what's it like being in the limelight, bro? I know a lot of people hit you up, a lot of people want to talk to you, they want to get to know you. I mean, have you had anything cool happen?
Yeah, I mean, dude, every day something cool happens. It seems like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just my fiance, we're shopping and walk through the store and someone like, hey, you got your last fight, bro. Congratulations. Like random little things like, bro, keep going, bro. You're gonna get the belt. Like just little things like that. They just it's sometimes I gotta like pinch myself. Is this really
Yeah.
happening? That's crazy. One of the cool things after my last fight, my first time fighting in Tennessee in Georgia, walked into like the Waffle House just to eat, and everybody, like, I had no idea.
But I tell you what,
Okay,
why don't you just give any shout outs, bro, or just anybody you want to thank. You're gonna have the link to this, so you're gonna share it to people, and anything you
yeah,
want to say to somebody special, this is your moment, bro. Just say what you want to
okay.
say.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, dude, thank you to you for having me on here, man. I mean, without a platform, I don't feel like I would, this like things like this is huge for me, man. It pushes my career very far. And without people like you to give me this opportunity, it would be very difficult for me. So I'm very appreciative of you, man. I'm happy that I got to know you as
My
well.
pleasure.
Dude, yeah, I mean, shout out like Barber Orthopedics, man, has been taking care of me since day one. Priceless Nutrition, Triad Mechanical, the Mortgage Godfather, I mean, just there's, dude, there's a ton of people that support me,
Yeah,
man. You know what I mean? Um, so the Delashment firm is a great sponsor and supporter of me. So these people, they really help me out in and out of the gym. And I'm very grateful, grateful for David Feldman to be giving me this spotlight. For my manager Scott Howard, that gets these crazy 3 a.m. texts when I'm like, oh, I got this idea, let me hit him up, what does he think? You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is like, the people around me, do they love me and they support me for me, and I don't ever feel like I have to win them over with a good performance. They would have me in their life if I went 0-3 my next fights, or if I won the belt my next fight, so I just blessed, man, blessed beyond belief that I have these people around me, man, and I can't wait to train as hard as I can and have the best performances that I can honor them as good as I can.
that's good, man. That's good. I appreciate just for you hooking me up, bro. I think you're like my eighth interview, man, and it's just, I don't know, man. I appreciate everybody who takes the time to do this, man. So I appreciate you. I know you're really busy.
No, no,
Real
absolutely.
real quick, bro. When are you fighting next, man? When do we get to see you again?
Man, I got some good news coming. I can't spill anything yet, but be on the lookout in the next, 30 to 60 days.
Okay.
I got a name, I got a date. I just waiting on a couple things to get squared away, and we're back, brother.
All right, all right. I can guarantee, and we're gonna see you fight often because you put on a good show, Mister Elusive. Even though you got quite a few nicknames going. All
Absolutely.
right,
Thank you, man.
everybody. Well, this is my guy. This is the end. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Nathan Rivera.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.